as the Olympians return. Their fight for the cup continues outdoors at Soldier Field. The Coors Light NHL Stadium Series, Penguins, Blackhawks on NBC.
It is an extraordinary honor to be an alternate for Team USA at a prestigious event like the London Olympics. Elizabeth Price knows that, but she also knows, and the reality is, a 10th better here and a 10th better there, and you're not in that situation. She's thinking Rio in 2 years. Sam McCulloch is a California guy and a Michigan Wolverine, an NCAA champion who knows what it's like to go to the Olympics. But he also knows there's unfinished business there. So here he stands in Greensboro, North Carolina, ready to compete in an event called the American Cup. Get the gold medal ready.
Oh, unbelievable!
We're live in Greensboro, North Carolina, and while some still unpack from Sochi, we're on the road to Rio. And it sort of begins here today in the 2014 AT&T American Cup. I'm Al Troutwig along with a couple of Olympic champions, and you're looking at a hopeful Olympic champion, Elizabeth Price. Her teammate is Brenna Dowell from Kansas City, Missouri, and this all started on the vault.
And it is where the Americans have been so dominant. I called her the second best vaulter in the world a couple of years ago. I think she might be the third now, but that was huge.
And Brenna Dowell doing the same exact vault, the 2.5 twisting Yurchenko, which was so difficult just a few years ago, and everybody seems to be doing it and making it look so easy.
Everybody's doing it from the USA, very few from around the world.
That's Tim Taggart with Nastia Liukin. Andrea Joyce is also here. Price and Dowell separated by a 1/10 of a point. And then Julia Steingruber of Switzerland, inspired by the recent Olympics, and we'll explain why as we move along here.
And this is where it gets very exciting for Brenna. On the uneven bars, she has upgraded and redone her whole routine. Some high-flying moves coming up.
It starts off right away. Big release. Beautiful. Now this is where it gets really crazy. Watch, half turn, and then, oh, beautiful. Down to the low bar. A young lady named Beth Tweddle did that first. Brianna does it fantastic as well. Another huge piece of air. She has looked rock solid the entire week in Greensboro.
Okay, Nastia, how good was that?
You know, that was very good. I talked to some of the judges earlier this week, and they said she has about 5 different versions of this bar routine, depending on how every move goes, because there's so many different connections.
Coach Al Fong is one of the legends here. He seems to have a gymnast ready to go every year.
So watch this right here. This is just wild. Does a huge release, gonna change her hands, do a half turn, and then flip around like she's a little bit, looks like she's in a blender there for a minute. But super cool and super difficult.
Thank you, you too.
A lot of sportsmanship in this event so far today. Now the men move to the second half of their competition. And to watch Sam McCulloch for 10 seconds is to like Sam McCulloch, I think. You want to know him. He's a great teammate.
Absolutely, and he has been just spectacular so far today.
He's right in front of us, and a few minutes ago, a couple of young girls said, "We love you, Sam McCulloch." He looked at them, smiled, and gave them a thumbs up.
Gonna do a vault that has a blind landing, 2.5 twists off the horse. Oh, and just the smallest little hop to the side there. Up until that point, Sam had stuck cold 3 dismounts perfectly.
Nice.
Now, Nastia, was it young girls behind me, or was it you who said?
It's a combination.
See him there with Fabian Hambuchen. Actually, Sam was in Michigan training, or Hambuchen was in Michigan training with Sam. But you see this right here, just the smallest hop to the side there. Goes a little around the side, but such a powerful young man. I remember watching him as a kid and thinking, it's not really possible to be as powerful as you are, Sam, at this age in your life.
14.966 on the vault. Tim, in his day so far, I said to you, does he wish the Olympics could start today?
Absolutely. And you'll see it right here. Look at this. Bam! We saw other athletes stumble on that pass. This is new for Sam. It's called an air flare. Very cool. One skill that gymnastics stole from some of the break dancers. And this is 101 gymnastics for Sam Mikulak. Big air and rock the house on the landing. Pommel horse, it's always precarious. But he was as perfect as I've ever seen him today on horse. Still rings. What do you know, man? That is classic right there. He says the looser he is, the better he is in competition. You're not going to see this guy with a towel over his head. He is always out there, always cheering, fist pumping.
This does not include his last score. This is where we stood at the halfway mark, and Mikulak led Nonomura of Japan by 7/10. Could likely go up with that performance just now. Once again, the gymnastics scores, no more perfect tens. We've been talking about it for years now, and so to put the scores in perspective, we came up with a green, yellow, red scoring guide. Green means you're good. Within your start value, you didn't get that many deductions, and you can think about moving up in the standings. Yellow is sort of a cautious one. Not sure. It depends on how your competitors did, and red is not good.
And just so you know, well, you see the yellow right there, and that was a little harsh, I gotta say.
I think I have to agree with you, Tim.
Yeah.
She had great execution throughout the whole routine. Definitely a high level difficulty as well.
And this is about as green as you're gonna see right there. 0.6 in deductions. His maximum score of 15.6. That is a very big number.
Now we go to the man in second place. Shogo Nonomura. He's done some spectacular things already today.
I love this kid. He is so elegant and so precise in his gymnastics. He's going to do the exact same vault that we just saw from Sam. Once again, a blind landing. Oh, that was very good. Very clean in the air. Instead of the hop to the side, you got that little hop forward, but excellent.
So Nonomura says, not so fast, Sam Mikulak. A lot more gymnastics to come. This is the most important international gymnastics event annually in America. Japan's Shogo Nonomura gains a little bit on Sam Mikulak with a 15.033 in the vault. What's been bothering him, Tim?
His back. For 3 years, he says it has been relentless, and he tweaked it. I saw it on the landing of his vault, and he just has a problem with it spasming up. He says every day he deals with it.
Now you're looking at the Bronx kid, John Orozco. When I say unfinished business at the Olympics, what do I mean?
Well, absolutely. You know, I mean, on pommel horse in the second rotation for Team USA, the wheels came completely off, and John just struggled like I've never seen happen. He is a tremendous athlete and really good on pommel horse, but it was disastrous. Just last week at a re-ranking meet called the Winter Cup Challenge, he fell twice on pommel horse both days, but today he was able to put together a strong set, and he's been very good today. Not at his very best though.
Mom and Dad are here agonizing through every minute. There you can see she will not watch. While he waits, we go across the room to Vanessa Ferrari of Italy, the 06 world all-around champion. What is she good at, Nastia?
You know, she has some great skills on the uneven bars. Her form is a little bit iffy sometimes, but she does show great skills on the bars. But I think where she excels most is on the floor exercise, where we'll see her later today.
Absolutely. She won a medal at the last World Championships on the floor. Just barely finished out of the medals in 2012. One of those tiebreakers that heartbreaking. She lost to the great Russian Mustafina after the tiebreak. This right here is her big skill. Struggles on it sometimes. Connected to that. Done well. But as Nastia said, sometimes the form not that great, and some of the handstand positions aren't perfect.
Meanwhile, John Orozco has been what the traffic usually is on the Cross Bronx Expressway, and that is standing still. And finally, he'll get a chance to move.
And this was another event that John really struggled on at the Olympic Games. He has since gone home and tried to completely rework his technique. Last week in Las Vegas at that Winter Cup, it was much better. It's a handspring, laid out somersault, 2 twists. And he put it to his feet. But you see him, he's not really that psyched about that.
Watching him this week in training, he didn't even make it on his feet, so he's probably a little relieved, but he turned so early from the horse, which makes it a little bit difficult to get that rotation.
And that's what he's trying to work on. He's trying to rebound off the table, but you see, he doesn't really get any extra height at all. Thank God he's a cat in the air, because he puts his feet down, and that's gonna get a good score, but it's not what John is looking for.
So I tucked my knees like this, and I was like, please make it. And I was like, yeah.
So a little begging from John Orozco. What's his day been like, Tim?
Well, he's been, like I said, he's been very good. He can be better on every single exercise he's done so far. But this was beautiful right here. First piece of gymnastics, great landing, great rhythm out of it, and pommel horse, where he has struggled, was fabulous. This scissor sequence, I don't think anybody in the world does it better than John Orozco. Perfectly straight hips. Where he's usually great is on those landings. But you see, that was not just one step, he actually took 2 steps there. So very good, but not at his best.
We await his score. At the vault is a Russian-born Andrei Likovitsky, competing for Belarus. He's been to a World Championships, but he hasn't been to the Olympics. And Nastia, in your sport, that's pretty much everything.
It's all about the Olympic Games, you know, and it's just the World Championships is actually a much bigger competition in the gymnastics world, but of course, we all dream of going to the Olympic Games.
As you said, he's Russian-born. He tried for many years to be a member of the Russian team, couldn't make it.
So this could be his ticket.
Yeah, actually changing his country, his citizenship. He still does go back to Russia.
How do you feel about that?
You know what, when he told me that he basically still trains in Russia, you know, I don't agree with it, but it's within the rules, and so he's here, and he's Belarusian here.
Your father is Russian. You competed for the United States. What do you think about it?
Well, yes, I was actually born in Russia, but moved over to the United States when I was 2. And, you know, my parents got their citizenship, which ultimately gave me dual citizenship at a very early age, and never had any intention to compete for Russia.
A long trip to the United States. He probably thinks that right now in his life, this is about as cool as it gets.
Yeah. I asked him what his best quality was, and he paused for quite a bit. And he says, you really have to want it, and you have to be willing to come in, day out, and do the hard work. And I'm willing to do that. An easier vault than we've seen from the other competitors. Just a double twist on that, but very clean. He's a very